Today, I'm going to show you my new planner and how I use it and all of my little tips and tricks that help keep me organized. Welcome to the Peaceful Home. It's great to have you here today. This is part 2 of using a planner. And today I'm going to show you exactly what I do to plan out my months, my weeks, my days. In my previous planner video, I got this comment from Janice. I'm retired and I live alone. I do have my appointments, which I keep on my phone. I guess I wonder why I would need a planner. This is such a great question. Thank you, Janice. If you have a simpler life, if keeping track of things on a little pocket calendar or on your phone is working for you, don't get a planner. Don't change things. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? But on the other hand, if you are struggling to keep track of your days, if you find yourself at the end of the day thinking, I don't even know what I did today, or why do I feel like I'm not getting anything done, or I forgot this at the store, or I missed an appointment, then you may need a little more structure to help keep you on track. Okay, let's open it up. All right, here we go. Here is my planner. It is a monthly, weekly spread, which means your entire month is shown first and then a week at a glance. I'm going to show you January. So here's the month. It's just about over. And I've explained before how I go through in red and I write down all of our birthdays, anniversaries, etc. That's the first thing I do. And then I pick a color of highlighter and I make sure to mark all of the school holidays and vacations because my husband is a high school teacher. I use highlighters whenever I want to block out an entire day or week. Now, this is when I was in Idaho visiting my daughter who had just had a baby. So it's a great way to at a glance just see that entire thing. I know that in February, this Saturday actually, my husband and I are dedicating this entire day as a work day. So because of that, I'll usually use the highlighter and it just lets me know not to plan anything. Workday. I might as well start with showing you my supplies, and then that way you'll know what I'm using as we go through this process. I love the Pilot G2 pens in blue. That's my favorite, but I will use black. And I like the Office Depot tool line. These are a set of highlighters that I got off Amazon and I love the colors. They're just absolutely beautiful. These are a couple from my old set that I also like, and these are by Mr. Pen. I will link them below. I have a good supply of Post-it notes, and these are colors that I like, and they're kind of neutral, but with a little bit of color here and there. And I like having all different sizes. So for example, again, maybe I don't want to highlight a square. Maybe I want to use something like this. Then I can just cut the section that I want so it fits in the square. Now this is particularly helpful if you have something that is not etched in stone. So if I know I'm planning a trip to see my daughter who lives about an hour and a half away, I can just write visit Naomi, and I'm hoping to do that on Friday the 7th, but if that doesn't work out for her, I can just switch it. So that's really easy. I can just take it off and move it to whatever day that we decided on. I also keep some of this larger size when I want to do like a to-do list or notes. And I do have this one stack that I got from Target. I think it's from Edit. And I just love this long skinny list that I could take off and put a strip right on the side. It doesn't take up much room. These are smaller ones. I also got these off Amazon and I love these colors. They're just so beautiful without being like glaring fluorescent. You know how a lot of the Post-it notes come, but these colors are beautiful. This is a new pack that I recently purchased. It's an entire set of stickers. And I can write on these as they are, or I can cut them in half if I need a really tiny strip. I have some weeks where my day fills up so fast and I need to write very small, or I need to make sure that I'm using a tiny sticker. Now, it would be difficult for my ink to show on these colors, so I actually have been just cutting off this strip, saving those for another use. And then I cut them this way. And I'll show you how I store these. Now these are just little hacks, things that you can do. They certainly are not necessary. At the beginning of my planner, I've got quite a few things. I take one of these guys. They're meant to go in not a spiral bound, but the other kind of coil. And so these didn't fit on mine. So I just cut that part off, and then I tape it right to the front of my planner. Now for these, I'm going to use an envelope. Now I just take an ordinary small envelope. I trim the edge with the flap. You could leave the flap on if you wanted to. And I'm tucking these in here. So they will always be right at hand when I need them. And I'm going to tape these also to the inside of my planner. Now these are right here at hand whenever I need them. I can pull them out. And I love using these too. You can use them in their full size, or again, if you need to cut them down to get them to fit the monthly square, it's really easy to trim those. Flip open to your month and they will fit right within the square. The other thing I have here is a little ruler. I just got a piece of cardstock. I folded it in half and I actually taped it shut and then used a glue stick to attach it to the inside of the planner. I can keep this ruler in here and it's ready to go whenever I need it. You can get these at the dollar store, at Walmart. Now the other thing I keep on this page is a few of these larger size, and these are regular appointments. These happen every week or every month, and I just like to keep these written down so I know when I'm planning my next month and I don't leave any of my regular things out. I'm going to grab this ruler because I'm going to need it in a minute. If you saw my last video, kind of an intro to using a planner, I talked about how everyone needs a spot, whether it's on your phone or on a calendar, to put appointments and activities, events, etc. And then you also need a space for your to-dos, whether that's a pad of paper, something on your refrigerator, or a planner. This is where I put my to-do list, my errands, my appointments for the week, and what I've chosen to do, because this has several blocks with very faint lines, so you can divide these up any way you like. You could have one for a menu, one for errands, one for appointments. You could have, and put to-dos down here. Now I've chosen to use two sections for my schedule. I've got the hours over here at the side. I don't do the morning because I have a morning routine that I regularly do. And then this section here is for my evenings. At a glance, I can tell if I've got something planned for the evening or if I have it free. I was also trying putting my dinner menu in here. So we'll see if this works well or not. I'm trying it out. And the great thing is that every week I can open a new spread and I can do it completely differently until I find a system that's really working for me. Now I have to have a list for what I do at work, at church, in particular things that need to be discussed at our weekly staff meeting, and then these are things I need to do at home. This is a running to-do list. And I just trimmed one of these pages because I'm temporarily using these. And this is for anything that comes into my brain that I don't want to forget. Now, it doesn't mean that it goes on this week. And this is why I use a Post-it note. Because at the end of the week, when I'm finished with this spread, and most of the things aren't accomplished on this list, I can just remove the entire thing and switch it over to the next week. Here's one way that I use these larger Post-its. Right now I'm working on my morning routine, so I've kind of got a little habit tracker going, and I'm trying to keep track of the things that I'm doing and finding the best order. And over here, I'm actually writing down how long certain things are taking because I want to make sure I'm planning properly. So if I'm going to move to my February spread, I'm just going to flip the page. I'm teaching a finance class on Thursday nights, so I've already put those in place. I'm just grabbing one of these sheets out of here. I've actually already divided these in half and labeled them for the moms group that I do, which is second and fourth Wednesdays. So again, that's one of my really busy days, and I do not want to have too thick of a sticker. So I cut these in half, and that way they don't take up much room. I'm gonna just flip back and see what else I've got going. I babysit my grandkids when one of them has speech therapy. That is weekly, Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. Now, you don't have to use stickers. You can just write in 10 o'clock, speech, 10 o'clock, speech. Really easy. But if you want at a glance, maybe to see the same color sticker and know that you've got speech going, you can use these. A lot of people don't like to use stickers. They just find it more work. So do what works for you. Another regular occurrence I have on Wednesdays is 2 appointments in the evening. So I think I'll use these, and I book a 5 o'clock appointment and then a 6:30 appointment. And those will be left blank until I fill them in. For me, for the most part, if I'm writing in, let's say I have an eye appointment on Thursday afternoon, I'm just going to write it in by hand. I'm probably not going to use a sticker, but you may find you want to handwrite all of your regular appointments and just use a sticker for the one-off appointment that doesn't regularly happen. So there's no right or wrong. At the start of a new week, usually by Sunday evening, I'm prepping for this upcoming week. I'm going to mark on here a spot for dinner and a separate spot for my evening. And again, you do not have to do this unless it helps you. Once I have my menu, I will jot in what I'm doing for dinner each night. And then, so dinner, and then these are my evening plans. I'm gonna leave space for my morning routine in case something comes up that is not part of my normal routine. And then I'm going to write in times over on the left. Pretty much anything from 6 on, I count as my evening. So I'm going to open the monthly spread and I'm going to start looking at things. Okay, so that's everything on my week that I have right now. I have very few appointments. I have a couple of regularly occurring things. I do always have a staff meeting at 4 o'clock. And then this is where I make a list for the staff meeting and just regular church stuff that I have to do. And I also have the option of now moving this list over to here. And if I'm doing a tracker again, I'll get that set up and write that out on a new sheet of paper. Now throughout the week, whenever an appointment comes up, let's say that I am meeting a friend for lunch. I'm writing it on this sticker because it's not real. I don't want to actually put it in my calendar. So that's for Friday the 7th. So when I do this, then I am going to write it directly on here. 12 o'clock, lunch with Sarah. I did debate about going to a daily spread, which means Monday would be a full page, Tuesday would be a full page. And I think there might be an advantage, especially on my really busy days, to having that type of spread. However, I realized I really like to see my whole week. I want to see it all in one spot, and that really helps my brain. And so I decided not to do the daily spread. Another thing I do is time blocking, and that is putting aside a specific amount of time for a project or just very intense work where you don't have interruption. So typically on Monday, I'm filming. So I might look at this and say, well, from 10 to 2, I don't have anything going on, but I'm going to film. And so maybe from 10 to 12, I'm just going to block off that time to film. And then from 1 to 3, maybe I'm going to go grocery shopping and start a little meal prep. I might decide that Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to work on refinishing my nightstands. So again, the things that you want to do, if you don't plan for them and you don't get them on your calendar, they may not get done. Time goes by so quickly, and it's very easy to waste it when we're not intentional. Now, because I am a visual learner, I am very much about looking at things, writing things down, reading things to help me retain information. I also have a notebook, and I like having this one that's a little smaller than like a standard size, and it's also the same size as my planner. So these are the two things that I use. Now this is just a blank notebook, and I kind of set it up like a bullet journal so that on the different pages I can write down ideas for videos, projects around the house. What else do I have going on in here? Oh, I wrote down a menu for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, some stuff for the Airbnb. So whatever I'm needing to jot down, here's my list of video ideas. I always have way more going on up here that I'm able to actually film for you. But this allows me to keep it all in one place. I have gotten so much better at writing things down in here, and I'm getting rid of the backs of envelopes, the scrap piece of paper, the napkin that I was scribbling things on before. So this might seem like a lot for you, but for me, this is very little. It's all in one spot, and it's so helpful for me. Now, it has taken me years to really kind of perfect the system. And as far as my weekly spreads, I can change those from week to week. It all depends on what's going on, and if I decide that a certain layout would be better than what I was doing in the past. Now, another thing I do in my planner so that I can quickly get to the week that I'm working on is I use a little binder clip. And that way I can go straight from the current month to the current week. Make sure that you put your name and phone number or email in your planner or notebook. I have lost one once, and I realized I didn't have that information, and there was no way that anyone could get that planner back to me. I wouldn't recommend using your address, but some sort of contact is really important. Now, I told you I would talk about the number one most important thing when you're using a planner, and that is to use it. If you don't check it every day, it will be of no use to you. This is where you need to develop a new habit. Whether it's I get dressed and I check my planner, I sit down to breakfast, I check my planner. You have to have it as part of your routine or it's not going to help you. Now, I can also tell you that there is so much on YouTube about planners and how to plan out your days and weeks, and probably people that do it more efficiently than I do. But you guys asked what I do, so this is it. And I feel like it's pretty simple and pretty effective. Well, if you enjoyed today's videos, I hope you'll do all the things. Let me know in the comments below, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider that. All it is a vote for my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home. Have a great day.